Will I ever get married? When I got word that my younger brother was getting married, I was devastated. How could that be? His wedding was 1 week before my 26th birthday. But as the oldest, I should have been married first, right? The wedding was really hard. But the reception was even worse. After my brother and his new bride cut the cake, we greeted our guests. It was then that a seasoned woman, friend of my mom's, asked me, "When are we gonna have some cake?" "Soon," I said. "No, your cake." I forced a laugh to keep from crying, because she stirred up feelings of loneliness that, quite frankly, I had been asking the same question. That encounter forced me to try to find my one. I went on several dates throughout the years, but it was when I was 36, 10 years after my brother got married, that I finally had a 6-month relationship that led to me getting a ring. I'll never forget that day. My boyfriend took me to the jewelry store on Christmas Eve and pointed to the sparkling diamonds and told me to pick one. I selected a beautiful solitaire 2-carat diamond. We followed the salesperson to the register where my soon-to-be fiancé announced, "Oh, let me go with the credit card." Even though my brain screamed, "No!" my heart justified that I would be married simply. Besides, no one has to live. Besides, I was desperate to have that symbol of being chosen. Well, a month later, I called off the engagement. I thought he would fight for me, but he didn't, leaving me single and uncoupled again. That was an extremely lonely season of my life, like so many other women around the world. The Surgeon General in 2023 referred to us as living in an epidemic of loneliness and isolation. Desperate to figure out what I was doing wrong, I sought the advice of family and friends who had successful marriages. They helped to point out the blind spots that were keeping me from getting what I wanted. They reminded me that if I wanted something different, I had to do something different. The self-help books that they recommended taught me that I needed to be satisfied and whole, regardless of my relationship status. Through this journey, I learned that there is a plan for my life, and I had to believe that it would unfold at the right time. So I also realized that I needed to take advantage of this single season, that I needed to learn to invest not only in myself, but into others. So I created spaces for single women, and I learned the beauty of pouring into others. That became the beginning of my being free of loneliness. Mother Teresa said, "Loneliness and the feeling of being unwanted is the most terrible poverty." For far too long, I lived in that type of poverty. but that was the beginning of a better life. That's why I'm driven to help others step out of loneliness into the love that they desire. That was the beginning of my life becoming even better. I realized that I could do it all. I traveled, I earned my doctorate, I poured into the lives of countless others my time and resources. I learned that I had a wonderful network of family and friends who surrounded and supported me. I was finally content. After all those years that it had been, I found the contentment that I needed. And it was because I incorporated these principles into my daily routine that I learned how to love, to attract, to date, and to marry the man of my dreams. And women that incorporate these principles, they too can combat loneliness, and they can have the life of their dreams as well. I narrowed these principles down into a relationship framework with the acronym STEP, S-T-E-P. S, self-love and self-awareness. T, trust the master plan. E, enrich others. And P, pursue our purpose. Let's go through that. S, seek self-love and self-awareness. A study affirmed that self-love is the foundation of a productive love towards others. We have to cultivate self-love and self-awareness in order to know who we are. By using tools like the Enneagram or Myers-Briggs, we get a better understanding of who we are. And it's in knowing who we are that we are able to love and to respect ourselves. And if we're not able to love and accept ourselves, it is impossible to love others. T, trust the master plan. So often, women who desire marriage, they get down on themselves when it doesn't happen right away. But having a trust in the plan and understanding that committed love will happen in the right time will give us the confidence to go through life, believing that it will happen. So go ahead, prepare for your husband. Wait on the perfect time. Know when it's right, you'll see. We are connected and made for connection. So as a result, enriching others is a vital part of this step. When we pour into others, when we groom others, we are able to help them grow, and learning as a result helps us to overcome our loneliness. And the final step, P, pursue our purpose. The International Journal of Applied Positive Psychology showed that people that had a high sense of purpose were romantically attractive, more so than others. Now, who would have figured that? So as we learn our purpose and we start to flow in that area, it allows us to become a magnet to attract the purpose partner that's right for us. So incorporating these steps, S, show self-love. T, trust the master plan. E, enrich others. And P, pursue our purpose. It enables us to be able to attract, date, marry the person that we desire, and most importantly, have the life that we dreamed of. Now, that's what happened to me. I was a 49-year-old virgin, but yet I loved life. I enjoyed what I was doing, and that, incorporating those principles, catapulted me into the room where it happened, where my husband, to be, saw me. We started dating, and just 4 months later, we were married. Yes, I was delayed, but not denied. Now, after 15 years of a satisfying marriage, I work with other women of faith to be able to combat loneliness and to attract, date, and marry the man of their dreams. Through my coaching, my writing, and speaking, I've been able to impact these ladies, and it is such a joy to watch them as they learn these skills and apply them and let them go from lonely single to fulfilled life. And to watch them as they incorporate these principles and find love in marriage, what a blessing. So I invite you to choose just one of these steps. Perhaps it's the S for seek, or the T for trust, or perhaps it's the E for enrich, or the P to pursue your purpose. Once you incorporate these principles, watch as your life changes, and you too will know that a delay does not mean a denial.